tonight, huh?
Yeah, I suppose.
Okay. I'll try my best.
I'm gonna mute everybody here except for Josh. Hold on. Oh, where'd he go? Oh my gosh, people are hopping on, so it's shoving it down. Okay. All right, guys. So I want to introduce Josh here a little bit. He'll probably introduce himself, but I just want to go over for anyone who doesn't know him. So Josh is a member of the John Maxwell team, and he specializes in putting PD into language that network marketers can understand. Think of him as like a tough love, humorous guy. He's very empowering. He has podcasts. Josh, were you at the New Orleans Coach Summit?
I helped Andrea Crowder with an event called The Power of I Am.
Yes, that was amazing. I was at that. And he's also been at My Super Saturday in Phoenix. He was amazing there. He's trained thousands in training groups, helping people every month to increase their focus, motivation, sales, and income. And he's also mentored over 10 top 10 coaches and superstar diamonds. So it's pretty telling. And he's just inspirational. I'll leave it at that. You guys all know who listened to him. So Josh, I'll just mute myself and you take it away. Do you want them to put any questions in the chat as you're talking?
I mean, I might not see him. I'm on my phone. We'll just rock it. Okay.
Cool.
Is that okay? Is that
like
cool?
It.
We'll just roll with it. I
like
do have a little fun that I want to have tonight. So this is something that I do on my webinars is I like to do giveaways. Does anybody like free stuff? So I'm going to give away a free spot in my Art of Recruiting training, which is a full-blown like 30-day boot camp. It's a $200 training group, okay? I'm going to give away a free spot. Here's what you got to do, okay? I have this really weird hashtag that you're going to get. If you've never heard of me, never listened to me speak, you'll get it in a little bit. Just bear with me, okay? I wear it on my wrist. It says, "Let's puke together," okay? Hashtag let's puke together. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to just simply share a picture of me speaking or you listening in, like a little selfie, whatever. And I want you to share your favorite quote tonight over on IG stories. Okay. And I just want you to put hashtag let's puke together. So your favorite thing that you learned tonight. Okay. You don't have to have it done by the end of the call. I'll kind of go through later tonight when I've been basically in airports all day, getting to Indianapolis for Super Saturday this weekend. So give me a little time. We'll announce a winner tomorrow. I'll shoot it over to Brooke, but tag me in your IG stories. Tell me your favorite thing that you heard tonight that challenged you. Okay. Does that sound good? And then we'll give away a free spot in the Art of Recruiting. Okay. So let's just dive right in because what I want to teach you tonight is essentially what I believe is the most valuable thing that I have learned in 5 years of coaching people. And I call myself, this is kind of in my affirmations. I don't really say this publicly because it sounds kind of douchey, but in my affirmations and my goals, I call myself a master performance coach. Because it's not my goal just to make people feel good. It's not my goal to just like be like, oh my God, the first 2 years of my business, I did so many calls, trained so many hundreds of people that came away saying, oh my gosh, that was so wonderful. Totally dropped bombs. Oh my God, my mind is blown. But so few people go put in the work. And so at the beginning of, I believe it was 2016, I started looking back at the couple of years that I had worked with Beachbody coaches. And I'd worked with, at that time, I had helped personally 2 different people go top 10, and I had worked with 4 or 5 different just that had been top 10 that worked with me to go to wherever else they wanted to go. And I was sitting there asking myself, why is it that some people sign on with me, whether in training groups or one-on-ones, either way, and some people get the most ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous results? And then I have a whole bunch of other people that honestly are paying me money, but they're not really getting results. I take it upon myself as a leader. Like, on one hand, you can't control whether or not other people have success. At the end of the day, it's on them. But as a leader, I take it upon myself to constantly reevaluate myself and the way I'm training people to say, is there something more I could have done? And I think that every leader does it. I think every leader is constantly asking, is there something more I can do? These people have so much potential. I want them to do this. Why aren't they doing it? And as I sat and I kind of reflected, I realized that the people who had the most results working with me were the people who came to me with this thing I call urgency. They came to me and they said something like, if not at the beginning of the call, by the end of the first call with me, they said something like, here's this thing. I got this crazy thing that I really want to achieve. I don't even know if it's possible. Like, I legit don't even know if it's possible, but I want to go for it. And when those people gave me permission to essentially push them to do the impossible, some crazy, crazy, crazy stuff happened. I had, I believe, 6, if not 7 different people that I worked with in 2018 that were a 1-star level in January that were elite by Summit. For those of you that don't know how elite works, everyone got their elite calls today, and it's what it is, like 0.5% of the entire company goes elite. And I helped 6 of those people do that by Summit. And if I remember right, there was only about 10 people total that did it by Summit. And usually the people that do it by Summit are people who are already 5-star, 7-star, 9-star, 10-star. I help people go from 1-star to 5-star elite. And actually a lot of them were 6-star by then, by getting them to implement this philosophy of urgency that I'm going to teach you tonight. Okay. Does anybody want to double, triple, quadruple, 5x, 10x their business? Anybody want to do that? Does anybody want to make bigger checks? Okay. If you don't want to, I'm pretty sure there's like husbands in the background going, yes, please, please, please make money for all of the time and energy that you are putting in. Please just bring home a freaking paycheck. I would appreciate that so much. Okay, so dudes in the background, I got you. We're going to go there tonight, all right? I'm going to tell your wife everything that you've been telling her for the last 2 years, except she'll listen this time, I hope. Okay, so here's how urgency works, okay? If you don't already have a goal that scares the crap out of you, you have to find one. Because I believe that people do the impossible when they just dare to try. And I believe that there are way too many people, and I love talking about this all year long, but in January, it's really exciting because I feel like people are actually like on my level of energy and excitement. Like people are like, yes, I'm excited too. Like, thank God, 1 month out of the year, you guys are on my level. Awesome. People get excited and want to set these goals, but here's the thing. The second you start to set goals, and I see this happen on my one-on-one calls with people over and over and over, because the first question I ask people is I ask them, if I could remove all obstacles, if I could take away all the pain and sacrifice it would take in order to achieve it, what would you really want to achieve this year? In other words, if it didn't cost you anything, if there was no pain involved, if there was no sacrifice, what would you want to achieve? This gets people digging down into their heart, past their head and into their heart, to see what they really, really want. Because at the end of the day, what you really want, all of the pain and all the sacrifice is what keeps you from admitting what you really want. And here's what I watch people do over and over and over and over. I watch their eyes light up for a couple seconds. It's hard. I'm trying to display it right now, but I've also, like I said, I've been on planes all day. My eyes don't open as big right now as they normally would. Plus I have a homemade ring lighted it since I'm at an Airbnb. I literally grabbed a floor lamp and threw it over here and I pointed at my face. It's very, very, very bright. But I watch their eyeballs light up for about 2 or 3 seconds. And then I watch closely. It happens almost every single time. I see their eyeballs light up as they start to imagine what they really want, and then something happens. They run into their fears, their doubts, their limiting beliefs. They run into the things that they know it would take to get that. And all of a sudden, the eyeballs come down. And then they tell me a goal that I know isn't the thing they really want. It's the thing they think is attainable. And I have to challenge them every single time and say, is that what you really want? And they always tell me, well, I don't really have many builders, or I don't have as many blah, blah, blah. I don't have blah, blah, blah. What they start to do is they stop thinking about what they really want and they start telling me what they think is possible. And I have to tell them, here's the thing. I don't really care what you have currently. I want to know what you really want. Because that is the thing that gets you the most excited. That is the thing that is going to fuel you full of fire. And that is the thing that is going to force you into this place of urgency where all of a sudden you find out what you're really capable of. So I want to give you a tip tonight. Okay. Can I give you guys a tip on how to create immediate urgency in your business to make sure you perform with optimal results? You guys want that tip? I'm gonna scroll through. I'm on my phone tonight because the Wi-Fi, my Airbnb is just absolutely terrible. So I dialed in with my phone. Okay, so I just want to scroll through here and see some people. You guys want some tips on how to immediately blow up your business? Okay, good. If you are someone, I found a page with some energy. I won't say who it is so that everyone else doesn't feel bad. But I found a good page with some good energy. I like it. Okay. The first thing you got to do is, if you are currently hitting Success Club 5 or less per month, I need you to make whatever you're doing per month your new weekly goal. If you're hitting Success Club 5 or less, that has got to become your new weekly goal. Now, if you're hitting Success Club between 10 and 20, I want you to 2x your monthly goal. So if you're currently hitting 10 a month, I want you to double it to 20. If you're currently hitting 20, I want you to double it to 40. If you are already above 20, then I want you to 1.5x it, regardless of what it is. If you're hitting 60, I want you to write down 90. If you're hitting 40, I want you to write down 60, whatever that is. Now, how many of you can say, I immediately understand your hashtag, let's puke together? Raise your hand if you now understand the hashtag. Here's what I did. I just forced urgency on you. Because here's what a lot of you just sat down and did. I hope that some of you attended my goals workshop last week, but if you didn't, that's okay. You can go watch it on YouTube. It's really good stuff. If you didn't, I hope that you sat down at the beginning of January or at the end of December and asked yourself, what do I want to achieve this year? And I hope that you wrote down something big. I hope you wrote down something that gets you really, really excited. But here's the problem that I find with people is people are really good at setting end of year goals, but then don't set themselves up to actually perform at any type of a higher rate per month or per week. And so their business doesn't grow. And so you keep producing the same numbers and you can't figure out why you're not hitting bigger goals. Do you guys, as I say that out loud, do you realize how ridiculous that is? To think that you would hit the same number over and over and over and over, but somehow hit higher goals. That literally makes 0 cents. 0 cents. If you want to hit a bigger goal, at some point you have to produce something bigger in order to get to that goal. And so few people are ever willing to actually create enough urgency to get themselves into a level of performance that brings the kind of results that you need. And here's why. One of the reasons why is because when I tell you that I want you to produce bigger numbers, you immediately think, but Josh, I don't want to work all day and night. I don't want to be one of those moms that's on my phone all the time. You don't understand. My life is busy. I don't have time to be one of those people. You will argue and complain about not getting the kind of results that those people get. You will say, well, maybe I'm not smart enough. Maybe I'm not pretty enough. Maybe I'm not outgoing enough. You have for why you can't get those kind of results. And then you will, when you're challenged to get those kind of results, make up an excuse for why you're too busy to even get those. So is it that you're too busy, or is it that you're not smart enough? Is it that you're too busy, or that you're not pretty enough? Is it like, which one is it? And here's the thing that I want to challenge you with. I want to challenge you with the idea of getting more results with less time. How many of you would say, Josh, if you could help me to double and triple my numbers, make more money, build the life of my dreams in less time than I'm currently spending, all in. Anybody? Okay, good. Because that's what I'm about to teach you. I want you to write this down. Number one, urgency creates focus. Urgency creates focus. If I gave you this challenge, and I'm not actually going to do this, so don't get too scared, okay? One of these times I'm going to pull this out on somebody and actually make them do it. If I challenge everyone on this call to make five sales before you go to bed tonight, what would you do? What would you do for the next 2 or 3 hours? Would you open up Word Swag and try to decide between Fresh Brewed Swag and Fatty Knows Best, all these Word Swag and all of your clever font names? Would you open up Rona Design and try to decide between turquoise or pink? Would you open up, I don't even know the different apps everyone's using for different filters to try to figure out which one would give you the best skin tone or the best muscle? Would you do that? Or would you go talk to humans? Now, number two, yes, you are correct. Good job, Jenna. Currently, oops, I just spoiled which page I'm on, but you guys don't know who the other two people are. Currently, how many of you spend, and now she feels really pressured because she knows I'm watching her. How many of you spend at least 80% of your business time? Maybe even 90%, maybe even 100%, doing things that don't even put money in your pocket. I have been speaking on calls for Beachbody coaches for 4 years now. And I cannot tell you how many calls I've done. I did 2 team calls just tonight. I've spoke on hundreds of team calls. And I can tell you from surveying the crowd, I can't do it tonight because I can't see the whole screen from my phone, but I can tell you from surveying the crowds that the people who get on the team call, now let's just go ahead and say that the people who get on the team call are the most committed people, correct? Because they got on the team call. And of the most committed people, meaning the ones that take the time to actually get on the team call, if you're watching the recording, we love you too. Maybe you were just busy tonight. We'll give you the benefit. If you are on this team call, 80 to 90% of you don't even do daily invites. Here, let me scroll quick. Let me scroll. As I say it again, 80 to 90% of you don't do daily invites. Let me scroll to the next page. Let me see their faces. Yeah, but I'm just seeing so many guilty faces. Just guilty. And now no one knows which page I'm on. Guilty faces everywhere because that's the scariest part of this business, isn't it? And you can wear your TBB ball cap and take a sweaty selfie with your Shaco cup every single day, and people assume that you were working your business. And the number one hardest thing that leaders in this company deal with that I have to talk to them about is the fact that they think they have a lot of people working the business, and I have to break it to them and let them know they really don't. Until you can show me what people are doing on a tracker and they can prove to you that they're actually doing the vitals every single day, assume that no one is. Because 90% of people that post on social media and take sweaty selfies and do 1,000 stories a day aren't even doing their invites, which tells me they don't really have a business. What they have is a really expensive, although maybe glamorous, hobby. If you have a sales-based business and you don't take the time each day to try to sell, you don't really have a business. Now, you got a community, and that's cool. That's cool too. Community's cool. You got a mom boss tribe, girl boss, whatever it is you guys call yourself, boss babes, whatever it is. You got that, and that's great. And you're growing, and you're becoming better humans, and that's cool. But if that's all we got, Let's just call it that. Let's stop telling our husbands that we need to spend $1,000 for training. Let's stop telling our husbands that if they'll let us go to Indianapolis for Summit, spend $2,000 or $3,000 on plane tickets and hotels, that we'll come back a changed person and make more money. Either we have a business or we have a hobby. But if you have a hobby, let's just be honest and just tell people that. Let's just tell people, hey, I'd really like to spend $2,000 to go hang out with my girls for the week, and it's going to be the best time I've ever had. I'm going to come back and nothing's going to change, but it's going to be a blast. Because there's lots of people that pay $2,000 to go on a fun trip and have fun with their friends. There's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong is when you're pretending to have a business, when in reality, you're doing the same thing my 10-year-old does. My 10-year-old posts on Snapchat 30 times a day. He never expects a paycheck. He does it because it's fun. He does it because of the community of his aunts and uncles and cousins and well, I was gonna say brothers. He does not follow his brothers. He doesn't like his my sons don't really care for each other on social media. They're like too cool for each other. But they do it for the community. See, when you have a goal that creates urgency, you no longer have a choice but to either, I'm going to try to keep this G-rated because I don't know you guys well enough, to either crap or get off the pot. Okay? I always have to be careful. I never know when it's okay, when it's not okay. When it's my call, my webinar, I just let it all out. But this is someone else's call, so I will be respectful. Urgency forces you to show up and do the things that you're supposed to do. So instead of spending 4 to 6 hours playing on your phone, all of a sudden, because you have this urgency, you make yourself focus on the right things, which means you get more results spending less time. According to Josh Statistics, which is things that I kind of collect as I go, there's no actual fact to it other than the fact that I talk to a lot of people. So I do have some pretty legit stats that very few people have argued with. The average Beachbody coach works somewhere between 4 and 8 hours a day. And I'm not talking about the full-time ones. I'm talking about the part-time ones. 4 to 8 hours a day, and yet makes somewhere between $100 and $1,000 a month. And that's sad. Because you're not actually working 4 to 8 hours a day. You're playing on your phone and pretending that it's a business. If you would give me 2 to 4 hours a day of focusing on the right behaviors, I could teach you how to blow your business up. I could help you make $1,000 a week if you'd give me 2 to 4 hours of focused time. But that's the thing, is because you haven't created urgency, you haven't had to focus. Now, on the 27th of the month, 28th, 29th, 30th, there's a whole lot of focus in every single team page. Everyone trying to pull off Success Club, which is why I challenge people to make that their new weekly goal. What if you showed up every single week like it was the last of the month? What if you showed up on Monday knowing that you needed to hit Success Club by Friday? How many days off would you take? You wouldn't take many days off, would you? One of the most powerful things that you can do is be a part of some type of, Beachbody does the Beachbody Classic. And when people do the Beachbody Classic, you see some people get into some incredible shape in not a lot of time. But that's because they know to get those kind of results, they can't skip days. And the problem is, if your goal isn't urgent enough, if there's not some deadline right in front of your face, you don't have to show up. You can keep putting it off over and over and over. So number one, urgency creates focus. Number two, urgency breeds creativity. So you put in the 2 to 4 hours and you do all the stuff that you're supposed to do, and you're still not getting the kind of results that you want to get. And this is where it forces creativity. How many of you have signed up for 1,000 different trainings, whether they were free or whether there was some type of, push to diamond, push to emerald, whether something free or maybe something paid with me or with Brendan Burchard or with I don't even know who's out there, 1,000 other humans out there selling things to business owners. How many of you done 1,001 of those things and you've never really stuck to a single one for the full-blown time that you were supposed to? Again, 80% of people, maybe 90% of people that go through push groups or paid groups or whatever it is, never actually complete the training to get the results that they paid for. Or if it was free, the results that should have been given to you. Because your goal wasn't urgent enough that you had to. Now, here's the thing. You guys are so blessed and yet so cursed. You're so blessed because there is just free content given to you day and night and day. You could go on YouTube and watch lessons from all of the top coaches in the company every single Monday. You have the national wake-up call. There's the champions page. But the curse of that is that if you're not careful, you spend so much time training and so little time doing that none of the training really matters. Beachbody is some of the most overtrained, counterproductive entrepreneurs on the planet. Not because training is bad, but because you think that if you can just learn another thing from another top coach, that somehow your business will magically turn around. Not thinking about the fact that whatever that person is teaching you, they spent day after day after day after day after day after day after day implementing that thing to get it to pay off. So you didn't have urgency. So you tried this thing to see if it would make your business take off. That didn't really work. So you tried this thing to see if that thing would take it. I know people that have rocked their business via Instagram, via Facebook, via like page, via Pinterest. Yes, even Pinterest. Via LinkedIn. There's a million different ways to do it. There's people that have done it on YouTube. The question isn't, will this thing work? The question is, are you committed enough to make it work? And when you have urgency, all of a sudden, you have no choice but to get creative. So for the first time, you listen to Jatanya Jackson tell you how to do Instagram stories, and instead of going, oh, that's cute, that's so much fun, you actually write it out and actually go implement it for 90 days. There's a really big difference. And then the third thing, so number one, urgency creates focus. Number two, urgency breeds creativity. Number three, the most important thing you'll ever know, and that I hope you will do. Urgency demands ownership. Urgency demands ownership. When you have a goal that's big enough, do you know what you don't have time to do? You don't have time to see what everyone else is or isn't doing. You don't have time to notice if Instagram is screwing up the engagement again. You don't have time to notice whether or not Facebook like pages matter or they don't matter. You don't have time to make excuses about the fact that your upline hasn't text messaged you in 3 days to tell you how wonderful and amazing and perfect you are, and that you're an angel sent from heaven and they're so thankful for you. You don't have time to worry about whether or not Aunt Rhonda, I don't know where that name came from, Aunt Rhonda said a snarky comment about you at the Christmas dinner about how you're always posting pictures in your Lululemons and your side hip hop. You don't have time for any of these things. The only thing you have time for is to get results. You take ownership for what you do and you don't get. When you don't get the results you want, you take ownership and you learn from it and you grow from it and you move on. But you don't whine and complain and try to make up some excuse that you're not pretty enough or not smart enough, or maybe I just don't have what it takes. That's all BS. That's all BS. Because every single day you wake up and you tell your challengers and you tell your coaches that anyone can do this. Anyone can change their life if they just put in the work that it takes. And you tell people that every day. So is that true or is that a lie? Uh-oh, somebody's screen sharing. I don't know what happened. I don't even know how that happens. We'll just keep going though. You tell people that every single day. Do you believe it or do you not? Either, either everyone can do it, and that includes you, or no one can do it, and you're full of shit. And I just lost my PG rating. Either everyone can do it, or no one can do it. So if you're going to wake up every single day and post motivational stuff all over Instagram and tell the world how possible it is, if you're going to wake up every single day and run challenge groups and tell people that they can change their life if they'll change their habits, then you better believe it for yourself. And you better stop making excuses for why it doesn't work for you when you seem to be convinced that it does work for everyone else. I want to end on this analogy. I want you to imagine for a second that if you have kids, they're at home with a sitter. If you don't have kids, pretend it's your boyfriend if you like him, or your spouse or pets or whoever it is you love in your life. You go to the grocery store, you had a sitter, you come home, and on the way, you notice there's smoke coming from your neighborhood. And as you get to your neighborhood, you realize that that smoke is coming from your street. And as you get to your street, you realize it's coming from your house. It's your house that's on fire. So you drive up that street as fast as you possibly can. You pull through the yard into the driveway. You jump out and run for the door. But because you were in such a frantic, just going crazy, your keys flew out somewhere in between the car and the door, and you have no idea where they're at. No idea. All you know is house on fire, loved ones inside, door locked. How many of you in that moment pull out your phone and call a locksmith? Anybody? Anybody calling a locksmith in that moment? How many of you find a way to kick down the door, punch through a window, run through drywall? You do whatever you have to do to get inside. How many of you doing that? Of course, because your loved ones are on the. You don't have time to worry about why the door's locked, where the key is, why no one else is there to help. You don't care. You just kick down the freaking door and do what is necessary. Now we take away the fire and we take away the loved ones. And let's just pretend you just came home from grocery shopping and the door is locked and you can't get in. Is anybody trying to kick down a door? Anybody punching through a window? No. You're going to go sit in your car and you're going to pull out your phone and you're going to call a locksmith, and then you're going to sit and play on your phone and scroll your news feed for 30 or 40 minutes until the locksmith gets there. Correct? Now here's the thing. So many of you say, Josh, I need this business to work. Raise your hand if that's you. I need this business to work. I work a full-time job and it takes me away from the life that I want to live with my kids. Or my spouse works a job that he hates. He's overworked. Life is stressful. He comes home, doesn't have the energy to give the kids because his job basically eats his soul for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and there's nothing left for us. Maybe it's we're drowning in debt. We don't know how to get out. We've created a monster that we don't know how to control. Whatever it is. Most people that come into this business, it's because there was something they needed. Correct? So here's the thing. For most of you, I know that that was an analogy, but in reality, for most of you, the house is on fire. The loved ones are inside. And most of you are sitting in the car, scrolling the newsfeed, waiting for a locksmith to show up and set them free. You are not taking ownership. You are the only one who is in control. And you always have control if you decide to take control. Because I don't care if you're a $110 or 250, if your loved ones are on the inside, you can knock down the door. You can find a way, correct? I don't care if you're pretty or ugly, you can knock down the door, correct? I don't care if you're outgoing or an introvert, you can knock down the door. The question is not, do you have what it takes? The question is, will you give what it takes? Every single one of you have what it takes. And if you don't believe that, then you're a liar. Because again, you tell people every single day that they have what it takes. So either we all have what it takes, and there really is such thing as equality, and there really is such thing as free will, or we're just all screwed anyways. But I choose to believe that there is something called equality. I do believe that there is a thing called free will. And I believe that at any moment I can change my future. I can change the harvest I reap by changing the seed that I sow. But I have to make the decision to take ownership for what I have and haven't done, and make the decision now to start doing what I want to do. So that's my challenge to you tonight, is to make the decision to start doing that. And I'm going to give a super shameless plug to end the call. If you're someone that needs help, you need someone else to help you create that urgency. I have a group called the Push Mastermind. And in this group, we put you on a daily tracker where we force you to do the vitals plus personal development activities such as affirmations and writing down your goals and planning out your days. I put you on my system that essentially makes you do all the things that you should be doing in a day if you want to have success. We put you on that tracker, and you have to check in and mark off those activities every single day. And every single Monday, we call out anyone who has fallen below 70% of their activities. And if you don't make it up in 48 hours, you get kicked out of the group. I got sick and tired of people paying me money to not follow through and put in the work. I said, I'm done taking people's money unless they're willing to do the work that it takes to get back what they paid for. We have 96% of people, 6 months running, 96% of people putting in the work it actually takes. 96%. Can you imagine one of your challenge groups having 96% of people drink their Shaco and work out every single day? Can you imagine 96%? That's the kind of culture we've created. On top of that, we have Monday calls every single Monday. We have a Zoom call where I speak and I encourage people. I fire people up. I answer any questions that got asked in the thread that week. We started a new thing this year where we have daily posts for the sake of accountability and challenges to make it feel a little bit more like a community. We have weekly recognition, monthly prizes. It's basically the best thing that there's ever been in the world for network marketers to make sure you show up and do the work it takes. Okay. If you're interested in this group, it's usually $249 a month. But for January, I'm running 50% off all of my trainings to help people get started. So if you go to joshcoates.com, it's just my name. It's right here on my screen. Please don't spell it wrong. There's no E in my last name. It's just joshcoates.com. Okay. You can sign up for the Push Mastermind or anything else on the site, but that's the one that has the accountability that I was talking about. And if you use coupon code Let's Puke in 19, Let's Puke in 19, it'll get you 50% off any of my training. So you can sign up for the Push Mastermind. What it will do is give you 50% off the first month. I don't want to trick anybody. After that, you pay the normal price per month. So it's $125 the first month, and then everything after that will be $249. It's not on a contract. You can cancel at any time, or If you pay up front, we have a deal where if you pay up front for 6 months at a time, because I want to get people that are willing to commit and say, dude, I don't want to just try this out. I want to freaking actually go all the way in on my business. 6 months up front is normally, I believe it's $1,200. So $1,200 is the equivalent of $200 a month instead of $250. If you sign up for the 6 months in advance with the 50% off coupon, it's $600 for 6 months of training. I charge my one-on-one clients more than that per call. For 6 months, you get just $600. You get 6 months of that kind of accountability ongoing. If you're someone that's interested in that, okay, go sign up. Use that coupon code. If you have questions, hit me up. I'm more than happy to answer them. But here's the thing. Either way, whether you decide to work with me, don't work with me, make me this promise. Make me the promise that you'll wake up every single day and you will remind yourself of who's on the other side of the burning house. And that you will make the decision every single day to kick down the freaking door. If that means you got to make posts with a little bit more vulnerability, you do it. If that means you got to invite somebody that you've been scared to death to invite for the last 3 years, you do it. Whatever it means, you go make it happen because you realize that you are in control. Brooke, thanks for having me. I'm going to hand it back to you. Let you say, do whatever you want to do to close things out. I appreciate you having me so much.
Josh, thank you. You are so my style. It's ridiculous, like mic drop. So you guys just please go check him out. I know most of you do. So I hope this really helped to inspire you. You guys know that I'm like tough love, empowering, and I just love his style. So I'm like, heck yes, you're coming on this call. Thank you so much, Josh.
You're more than welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thank
Night,
you.
guys.
Bye.